Hey, what's up everybody? It's DJ back again with another GUDS video. I appreciate y'all tuning back in. If you've been following me for a little while, or if you even just know me, then you probably noticed something very obvious. I actually cut my beard off this week. I figured everybody's having to stay home with the coronavirus situation, so I might as well try something new. So I'm going with the mustache look for right now, but I think I'll definitely grow the beard back out pretty soon. But don't let that stop you from liking this video. Don't let it stop you from subscribing to the channel either, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. For this one, it should be pretty short. I'm not giving any kind of how-tos or directional videos. In this one, I'm just going to give a couple tips about, how to actually get a garden started, and hopefully can answer some questions for people that have never grown anything or want to actually get a garden started. I've been talking to a couple of people over the last couple of weeks that, kind of wanted to know what they needed to get started, what kind of things they should start off growing, and if they even have enough space to kind of grow things. So hopefully this video can answer some of those questions for them and then for other people that might be watching as well. And then after I give the tips, I want to go ahead and give an update on the rest of the plants that we've started over the last couple months or so. Getting right into it, the 5 different tips that I wanted to go over is 1, to have a plan, 2, do research, 3, have a good attitude, 4 is just get started even if it's small, and then 5 is having patience. Going back to the first one, plan is basically just having a plan and knowing what you want to accomplish with the garden. Do you want to grow a whole lot of vegetables and fruit and sell it commercially? Do you want to just grow a couple things for you and your family to have food for the summer? Do you want to just experiment with different types of vegetables? Do you want to make new vegetables? Kind of just figure out exactly what you want to accomplish by the garden, and then just kind of taking it from there. Whenever you're doing your planning, you want to make sure that you know the kind of sunlight that you're going to get, the kind of weather that you're going to have, exactly what the planning dates for everything are. That way you can kind of stay on a certain schedule. If you plan and stay on a certain schedule, it'll help accomplish your goals a little bit easier rather than just throwing caution to the wind and just getting started all willy-nilly. The next thing that kind of is related to having a plan is doing research. So whenever you do research, you want to make sure that you understand the growing conditions for the different types of vegetables that you might grow. If you have a tropical fruit that you're trying to grow, it probably wouldn't be best to try to grow it in an area where it's really frigid all the time, or it's really cold and it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. And then vice versa as well. It might not be the best to grow a cool season crop in a place that's real tropical or real hot all day long and real dry. So just having good understanding of the area that you're in, the type of soil that's in your area, the type of soil that you might need for a specific vegetable or fruit. Knowing exactly what part of the sun hits, wherever you're staying at or wherever you're trying to grow things at. If you live in an area that's really shaded and doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight, it might not be the best place to, try to get a garden started. But if you have a backyard or if you have a porch that, pretty much gets, 10, 12 hours of sunlight a day, that might be the perfect place to actually get a small garden started. So making sure you do as much research as possible, understand what you're doing. If you understand it before you do it, then you'll have a lot more success further down the road. The next part I want to go over is just having a good attitude. So when I say have a good attitude, there's going to be things that you'll fail on. In my first video, I mentioned that the first thing I grew was a watermelon, and I planted it from seed. It took about 90 to 100 days before I got any kind of fruit from it, and when I did get the fruit, it wasn't even edible. That could discourage people to not even want to try to grow things anymore because they failed. I encourage you to have a better attitude than that. Make sure that whenever you fail at something or something doesn't work out the way that you thought it was going to work out, don't take it as a failure or a loss. Take it as a learning experience, and then use that to figure out what you did wrong this time, so that way you can correct it the next time. It's a learning process as I go. I've only been doing this for about a year or two, or probably about 2 or 3 years. There's people that's been doing it for 30, 40 years that are still learning new things every day as they grow things as well. So it's a learning process. You got to make sure that you have a good attitude about it, and don't consider a crop being messed up, or pests get into a crop, or fungus getting on a crop. Don't consider that as a failure. Consider it as a learning experience, and have a good attitude about what you want to do going forward. The next thing I wanted to go over is just getting started, even if it is small. I'm gonna put another link of a short video I did this week, showing how to actually start an indoor herb garden, and that's something that you can grow if you have just minimal sunlight in your apartment or in your house. It doesn't matter how much space that you typically have, but even if it is as small as that, just get started. Some people get caught up with, a guy told me it's called analysis paralysis. Some people get caught up with overanalyzing things, doing so much research that they never actually get anything done. And I encourage you to do your research, but make sure that you just go ahead and choose a couple things to just go ahead and get started. Even if it's small, even if it is one plant, just get started. You'll learn more by actually being hands-on and being involved, rather than reading a whole lot of books or watching a whole lot of videos and trying to figure things out without actually getting anything done. And the last thing I wanted to go over is just having patience. So gardening, I believe in growing anything, especially from seed, is just something that'll test your patience a little bit. It'll show you and give you a little bit more of appreciation for delayed gratification. I don't know of anything that you can plant and then harvest within the first 2 weeks. Most things that you're going to plant, you're not going to see the actual fruits of your labor for a few months, but it makes it even more gratifying once you actually get the fruit or get the vegetable. Once you put in that whole entire process, you took care of the plant from a seed all the way up to maturity. Just having that patience to know that it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that you're going to have to put a little bit of work into, put a little bit of time into, probably commit a little bit of financial things to it as well. But it's something that if you do have patience, the work that you put in from the beginning and the care that you give the plant from the beginning will definitely pay off once it starts yielding the fruit, and then you actually have something that you can eat with or provide and give to others that don't have something to eat with. Those are pretty much the 5 tips. I hope that I didn't ramble, and I hope I was able to kind of explain exactly what I was trying to say with those 5 tips. But if you don't get anything from what I said, the main thing I would want to say is just get started. If you don't start, then you'll never have anything. So if you never plant a seed, you're never going to grow anything. If you plant a seed, you have a better chance of growing it than if you don't plant it. I know that sounds very simple, but that's really what it is. If you plant something, it'll grow, and if it doesn't grow, figure out why it didn't grow, and then just kind of take it from there. But if you don't get started, then you'll never have anything. So appreciate y'all tuning into this part. I'm going to switch it up real quick and then show the rest of the garden and how things are kind of progressing, and then from there I'll go ahead and explain what I'm going to do in the next video. All right, so just giving a quick update on the actual garden. These are the snap peas I planted a couple weeks ago. It looks like 7 of them have sprouted out of the 10 total. So the other 3 seeds may have not been good, but that's all good. 7 plants is more than enough. Here is where I planted the carrots last week. None of those have sprouted, but it's all good. Most vegetables take about a week or 2 to actually sprout, so we're looking to be in a good spot. It's only been about 1 week. Here are the beets. Like I said, about a week or 2 before they'll sprout. They haven't sprouted yet. Some of the spinach has actually come up some. Not sure if you can really see it. And then the Swiss chard back there, but nothing sprouted yet. But next I'm gonna go ahead and take it over to the greenhouse. All right, so getting right into the greenhouse, I actually opened it up today so we can get a little bit more air and some more direct sunlight. But these are the heirloom tomatoes. These are the strawberries. Been kind of slacking on transplanting the other ones, but I'll get that done over the next couple of days, hopefully. Okra right here, a little bit dry. I need to water it some more so the leaves can kind of stand up a little bit, but it's all good. Habanero peppers. They look real similar to the other pepper plants I got, but they're just way shorter and smaller, more compact. Speaking of peppers, that's the jalapenos back there. Carolina Reapers, one is already sprouted. Looking good to go there. Here are the eggplants. A couple of these have already sprouted. Never grew eggplants. This is my first time actually growing eggplants, so we'll see how that process goes. Some of the lima beans and Roma beans. As you can see, the lima bean is about to sprout. This is rosemary I planted, lavender, chamomile, watermelon, cantaloupe. None of those have sprouted yet. And then the kale, which has actually come up over the last couple of days. And then the top row is the lettuce, which has grown a whole lot since the last time or the last update I gave. And then the celery still looking pretty healthy. And then going back to the bell peppers, so they're looking pretty good as well. And then next thing I just want to show is the actual indoor herb garden that I started. All right, so this is the herb garden that I started. I'm actually keeping indoors. The weather's been real good over the last couple of days, so I've just been putting them outside so they can get as much sunlight as possible. But I got spearmint, mint, basil, thyme, parsley, dill, sage, and cilantro growing in these different jars. As you can see, the basil has already sprouted, the thyme has already sprouted, and the dill has already sprouted. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of thin these out as they get a little bit, get a little bit taller and a little bit more mature. I'll thin them out to only a couple plants per pot or per jar. That way it doesn't overcrowd, and I can harvest as much as I need whenever the time comes. All right, thanks guys for tuning into this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification as well so you don't miss out on any new videos. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Comment as well if there's anything that you want me to go over going forward or make a video on. In this next couple videos, I should be showing how to directly sow some seeds, how to transplant, how to take care of young seedlings while they're young, so that way that you get a good harvest in a couple months. But until next time, guys, peace.